Hi everyone, welcome back to Chop's Garage. As you can see, the showroom is looking very empty and very echoey. Well, not looking echoey, but sounding echoey. Well, two of our cars have been picked up this morning, taken away by the customers. The Corsa's down having its MOT done. The Cactus is down having its MOT done. We'll talk more about the Cactus if I haven't done already. So the two other cars that are sold are already down. The Sagnon's still down there having some work done on it. The Fabia's still away having its paint done. So I only have currently up for sale the Corsa and the Polo. I still haven't got the grey one up. For my sins, I've still not got the grey one up. Need to get my act together, get this photographed. But trouble is, I've been having to use the time today that I would have been doing that, getting new stock in. And something, well, let's go and look at something I've just picked up. I've just picked up this 59 plate Hyundai i20. Now those of you who watch the channel regularly will know I swear by Hyundais. If you're looking at the cheap car end of the market, you're on a budget and you want something you're not going to have to plough a load of money into, there's going to be a really good reliable runabout that's going to cost you very little in terms of sort of road tax, fuel, insurance, all that kind of good stuff. You cannot beat the little Hyundais, the i10s, the i20s. I've sold tons of them. You've seen me sell tons of them on the channel. How often have you seen me have problems with them? Very, very rarely. They are really good little cars. So just picked up this one. This is a 1.2. I think it's a classic if I'm right. I'll double check that. Big thing with this, only 59,000 miles. I think it's only had a couple of owners as well. I will confirm that when we have a look at the logbook. So yeah, it's the 5-door i20. I try and avoid the 2 doors. They're not as, or 3 doors. They're not as popular. The 5 doors, obviously, they just sort of fit for everybody, don't they? So having a quick look around it, it's a little bit dirty, a little bit grimy. There's lots of small cosmetic things that need to be done on this car. So door handles, get the Ultra on them. We know that'll bring those right back up again. The bits of trim down here, sand them down, paint them, that'll lift that back up again big time. The rest of the panel seems really good, just needs a really good machine polish. Being black, it shows everything up. The headlights really faded, easily solved with a polish. That's going to lift the car straight up. Wheel trim's really heavily coated in brake dust, so if we get a brake dust clean on those, excuse the noise in the background guys, tractors are out. Get all that brake dust off of those trims, just touch in with a little bit of silver here, paint the back of the wheel with stone chip. That is going to lift that up right away. We've got some scratching here, but it's all in the lacquer. I think we can buff all of that out. Again, just light scratching everywhere. All this will buff nicely, buff the headlight again, treat the rest of these wheels. There's obviously been some bird poo or something on here. Someone's tried to get out but then not polished it afterwards. Again, all of that will polish out. To be honest, even black teacup would probably make this a lot better, but I think we use a proper polisher. So inside we've got seat covers. Someone's covered the seats. It doesn't smell of dog, so I don't think it was for dogs. I think it was literally just to actually protect the seats. They all seem to be good underneath. All the carpets are decent. We've got all the seat covers on the front here as well. Again, if we move them back, apart from the foam coming off the seat covers, the seats look really good. It's got electric front windows. We've got a bit of chrome missing off there. Again, I've got some vinyl wrap. If I clean that up, put some vinyl wrap over that, I'll tidy that right up. Some chrome vinyl wrap. What have we got? We've got wind-up rear windows, haven't we? Yeah, because it's a classic. It's wind-up rear windows. Oh, get the noise of those tractors. We've got air conditioning, auxiliary input for the stereo, CD radio, and that's about it, apart from your front electric windows, as I said. What more do you need for your little runaround? 5-speed box. All these plastics are in good nick. Again, it just needs a really good clean. There isn't too much scraping. These get scraped a lot from people getting in and out. But overall, the plastics are actually in really nice condition. All the white is where it should be on all of these controls. The controls all look factory fresh, to be honest. All the buttons on the stereo are good. We'll have a little look under the engine bay. So underneath here, pretty much same as the rest of the car. Your coolant level is sitting in the middle where it should be. It's the right colour coolant. The engine bay's got an honest sort of dirt to it as well. Oil level, we're on a slope, so I'm not really going to be able to tell. I think I did check this before and it was okay. Yeah, I mean, look how clean the oil is. Super clean oil. I'm sure it was at the right level.
We're looking dry on all the gearbox, all that kind of stuff down here is looking all nice and dry. I don't see any weeps or leaks. It's just a nice little 1.24 cylinder, no turbos or anything else to worry about, just simple mechanics. And you can get your hand in there and work on it. You want to do any fixes on these, they're so easy to do. There's no problems at all getting in and out of the engine bay there. We've got 2 remotes, which is a bonus when you start getting to cars of this age. And the exact mileage is 59,053, so nice low mileage for this age as well. Start her up. Starts on the button and sounds bang on. I've done so many of these, I know exactly how the engine should sound. I've just driven it here, so the temp is already up to half, that's why. Smooth as you like, look at the idle. Rock solid smooth on the idle. One of the best sounding 1.2s I've had so far, actually. I think one of the reasons I'm sounding so enthusiastic about it is this is going back to the core of Chops Garage, isn't it? Providing those cars to people that are sort of, they're limited on the budget side of things. If they can't afford for there to be problems with the vehicle that they've bought, they need to know it's going to be reliable, it's going to be economical. They need to know the dealer selling it to them is looking after them. And these things, you can just sell them with absolute confidence. You start trying to sell, you know, cars of this kind of 3K price range, the more prestige stuff, it's going to be full of problems. There just isn't an awful lot to go wrong with this. And yeah, I can't speak highly enough of them. Anyway, let's go for a little quick test drive in it. So, little run out in the i20. Apologies, you've got a little bit of headrest in your shot, but I haven't got any other camera holder available with me right now. Remember, Chops Garage is all about pretty much live and raw. I'm recording this stuff as I genuinely run the business and run around all over the place. I haven't set the day aside to do like a proper test drive video like other people do with all their cameras set up everywhere. You're getting snippets of the day live as it's happening, and I just have to stick the camera wherever I can, and I might not have a microphone on me, so it's just the way it is, guys, and that's the way I want the channel to be, a bit different. So out in the i20, out in the i20, and someone's ringing me. I have to say I'm very impressed with it. Everything is great, to be fair. Now, I'm not an MOT tester, but I do like to think I can get in a car and tell you pretty quickly if it's going to need any bits and bobs. This one, smooth as you like, sweet as a nut. The gearbox is cracking, that's smooth, changes absolutely fine. The suspension has no knocks or bangs or clunks, that's all smooth. The steering's nice, the brakes are great. The engine is quiet. These 1.2s, as they get older, tend to get a bit more raucous, but this one's really quiet. So many times though I have recommended people to say, oh, I'm looking for a small car, I want to get something for my kids, and they're all looking for the same things. Oh, Corsa, they're all looking for the same things. Corsa, Polo, Fiesta. I'm like, i20. Obviously they've got more metal around them as a car, they're a decent size, they can pile everybody in them, they're cheap to run, they're cheaper to buy by probably about £1,000, and they are bulletproof. I've sold Hyundais with the 1.2 with 138,000 miles is the highest one. Never heard anything back on it at all, absolutely fine. I've done a number of them with over 100,000 miles, no problems whatsoever. So cosmetically, it needs some work, nothing major, it doesn't really need paint work, it just needs a really good clean, a retreat of the plastics, a machine polish, yeah, a little bit of paint work down there actually. Tidy up those steel wheels, clean the trims. Other than that corner, it's actually pretty good. But it has to be, I will say, probably the best driving i20 I've had of this age so far. It really is. I can normally, like say, pick up something that needs doing, but it drives absolutely bang on. Which is why it might be good for our subscribers just as is. You can just see it needs a really good machine polish. But yeah, I do like these i20s. I think they'll be a cracking little buy.
Now I said I'd talk about the Citroen C4 Cactus that I got in. You saw that in an earlier video, sold immediately to a subscriber. Put it straight down for MOT. We're going to put a brand new MOT on it, service it. The guys gave me a ring on the MOT. Oh, you'll notice a change, by the way. The chair's gone. Got a sofa. I didn't want a normal sofa. I wanted something that was car related. The trouble with the chair is it only fit one person on it. It's beginning to have a situation where one customer is always standing. So yeah, you're going to notice that. So I thought I'd cover that quickly. Anyway, yeah, so the C4 Picasso, the guys gave me a ring and said, look, MOT is absolutely fine. There's no real problems at all. You need a bit of front suspension, which I think I said in the video. You needed top mounts to be done. And I think we're doing drop links as well. So that's all it really was, knocking suspension. They said the only thing is there's a little bit of an oil leak. They said it's would be an advisory on the MOT. It's not hitting the ground, so it passed MOT. 135,000 miles, you kind of accept it. Might have a little bit of weeping oil. I said, well, you know we don't do advisory free. Can you jet wash the engine off and find where it is for me? We'll cover some of these new cars in a later video as well, by the way, guys. We're a bit all over the place at the moment. So I said, can you jet wash the engine off, find out where the leak is? So they did that. I was thinking, you know, sump plug maybe, you know, rocker cover gasket, something like that. Well, they came back to me and said, James, we've done it. Now, I'm going to get this wrong now because I can't remember exactly where it was. But they said, we found the leak. The trouble is, we've got to take half the engine apart to get it. It's not a rear main seal. It's something to do with the top end of the engine. There's some strange cam cover set up on those engines. Those of you know the 1.6 HDR will be able to know what it is. I can't remember offhand. They said, trouble is, you're talking about, I think in total, it's something like 6 or 7 hours to get it all apart and back together again to get to this. And I said, I bet you it's just a flipping, you know, like a £20 gasket. They said, worse than that, it's not even a £20 gasket. They just use sealant. So it's like 10p's worth of sealant, but 7 hours worth of labour to get to it. So we can't send it out the door with a leak like that. The guys ran it up again and said they could see it starting to weep when they ran the engine on the ramps. So we're going to do it. We're going to take it all apart and do it. Now, obviously, with that much off the engine, the question is, do we do the cam belt at the same time? So I rang a subscriber. I said, look, this is what we're having done. I'm going to be paying for all the labour anyway. Do you want to put a cam belt in at the same time? I said, if you want to put a cam belt in at the same time, I'll just charge you the parts, which I think is 150 quid. He said, oh, what about the water pump? I said, no, that includes the water pump. We'll do the water pump, the tensioners and the cam belt at the same time as sorting out this leak on the engine. So it's going to be costly. Again, I ballsed up. I sold the car £450 under Auto Trader recommended, and now I've got 7 hours worth of labour to do a 10p's worth of sealant job on the car. But when I say the cars go out advisory free, a lot of the time in the comments you get stupid people go, oh yeah, your MOT station just worked with you, so they're advisory free. These cars genuinely go out advisory free. If there needs to be something done to get the car to be advisory free, it gets done, and that means I've got to have 7 hours worth of labour. That's the way the cookie crumbles sometimes. Some cars you make a lot out of, sometimes cars you make less on, and that's just the way, that's just, like I say, the way the cookie crumbles. It can't be that you only go with advisory free when it goes in your favour. So that car with that mileage on, now it's at that price, $4,995 for a 2016 Cactus. Yes, it's got 130,000 miles on, but it's going to have a brand new cam belt, water pump. It's having all its, sealant done, so it isn't weeping any oil. We're doing that front suspension, so there's no knocking from the suspension. It'll go out the door as it should. So when we get all the stuff together on it, I'll find out what the final bill is and let you know. But obviously means the subscriber's a little delayed in getting the car, but he wasn't in a hurry anyway. Other updates, the little Corsa that's gone down for its MOT. We sold the silver Corsa that Malcolm did that great paint job on for me. That went down for MOT, and that, again, could have passed the MOT, but there was a slight imbalance on the brakes. The guys knew what it was. They checked it out. They came back and said it's the ABS unit on these. They'll get a blocked valve and it'll do that. So we were putting a ABS unit on it as well. That's what's being done on that one. I think I sold that one about Auto Trader price because it was such good nick with such low mileage. I think I might have been a couple £100 below. So again, the older cars, they always cost a bit of money to get through. The newer stuff costs nothing to get through, but it's slower selling. We've had this one for a while now, haven't we? This this Clio, which surprises me because it's a lovely metallic blue. We bought it from our subscriber, didn't we? It's in fantastic condition. It's pretty much as new. Full service history. Mileage is good. Again, under Auto Trader recommended. I think it's just because it's like I think it might. Well, I can't remember the price of my cars now. Is it 9 grand, 8,995, something like that? Or 8, might be 8,795. It doesn't need any. Well, it needs that oxygen sensor now. So I haven't done that, haven't I? Which popped up. I think just from it not being run about much. But yeah, it does. And again with the Polo in front, I mean we haven't had an MOT done on it yet, but that shouldn't need a lot. I would have thought it's pretty mint. But they're both around that kind of price. They're just so much slower moving than these sort of sub 5 grand stuff. I've had a few dealers saying they've been quiet recently. Obviously last month we pretty much sold out and beginning to fill up again, but all the cars need prepping. But they're telling me as well it's the more expensive cars, the higher end cars, price wise, that have slowed up for them. But the trouble with this game is you might think it's slowed up and it might be quiet, dead for 2-3 weeks, and then all of a sudden out of nowhere everybody's buying all of a sudden. So I'm going to keep stocking up. Now I should have also picked up today a little Hyundai i10, but that hasn't turned up when it should have done, so we'll pick that up later in the week, which is another favourite of mine. The i10, if you're just running around locally within town, bang on. If you're going to do a few longer journeys, you want a bit more car around you, the i20. As always, if you want to see how I get on with this and all my other cars, you need to hit that subscribe button down below so you get notified when all the new videos come out. Costs you absolutely nothing, just notifies you when the videos come out. If you enjoyed this, give it a thumbs up and it'll recommend it to other people. So as always, massive thanks to everyone for watching, much appreciated. See you again soon.